Welcome back to Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. And we are talking about the do's and the don'ts of the financial markets. Great opportunities as these markets have been tumbling, and we're just seeing great shorting opportunities as these go down. It's a strategy to profit in down markets. And we're going to talk a little bit about that here coming up. But if you did miss tickets to that investing class that we do locally at our academies here, you can text the word investing to the number 210-210 right now. Text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 tickets and a quick start kit. So when you text in, you're going to get a text back with a date that works for your schedule. You're also going to receive that quick start kit just for getting set up for this investing class at our local online trading academies. So Al, in that last segment, we were talking about this great opportunity as these markets have been going down. We've been talking about this for a long time, protecting portfolios. I hope people haven't put it off. I hope everybody hasn't put it off. We've had a lot of listeners, Al, that have commented to say, hey, I'm glad you're bringing this out to light. You're talking about these opportunities in down markets, but also you don't have to let your accounts just sit. But here's what happens when people do that. People let their 401ks and IRAs just sit and hold and wait as prices go up, prices go down. The brokers like to call it the gyrations of the market, so they keep you in the market. What happens is over time that rate of return keeps getting lower and lower and lower because that one thing you lose is time. Now, when people get into retirement, they don't have enough because of that. I think a lot of people agree. We ask this in the investing classes: do we have a retirement crisis? Everybody says, yeah. Baby boomers are having a tough time retiring, and they're living off a fixed income. So, what can they do differently? So, people are looking for income strategies. So that way, if you don't have enough in that 401k or that IRA, that you're not just living off that fixed income. You're being able to hopefully do the things that you want to do. I mean, people want to be able to travel more at retirement time, be able to go see the grandkids and actually bring them places. And that is the things that people are really searching and striving to do, but it's not free. Let's talk about some of those income strategies using the markets prior to retirement, even during retirement as well.
Well, you mentioned a lot of things there that I want to try to comment on. Basically, the strategy that you identified that most people follow is what I call the hope strategy.
Hmm.
It basically they're just kind of putting money into something. It may be your 401k, and then just putting it on cruise control, so to speak, and hoping that things work out. We do have a crisis. You mentioned a retirement crisis. It just got worse because of inflation. That retirement crisis got worse for most people. And here's one of the problems, Josh. People are putting things on the back burner, as you mentioned in the first segment. And that's easy to do. When you're young, when you're still kind of accumulating assets, maybe building a family, you're always thinking, well, I can deal with my retirement, my wealth later.
Yeah.
But what you're losing, it's you mentioned time. It's also the negative compounding impact that hits you. If you look at say taking a dollar when you're in your 20s and investing it and continuing to grow it, at some point in time, that may end up being $10,000. That $1 can grow because of the power of compounding. The
Hmm.
longer you wait to do something, either the more risk you have to take to get that kind of return, or you just don't get it. So a lot of people, I think we're seeing that now, where people are saying, you know what, I put it off too long. I thought I just needed to concentrate on all the things that were going on in the world. You can't control those things, but you can control the assets you have. You can control your finances, but you need to do something about it. And basically, you've got two choices. You can sit on the sidelines and hope things work out. Maybe you're counting on an inheritance from a long lost relative you didn't know you had, or maybe you're looking at winning the lottery. Maybe that's your plan, or maybe you're willing to become active. But if you're going to become active, understand how to do it in a way that is most beneficial to you. And everybody's a little different on what they need and what they want. And the way that you go about that is using assets and strategies that are geared towards your goals. What do you want your financial future to look like? And for a lot of people, it means generating additional money now. If you look at building a big retirement account or wealth account, whatever you want to call it, it requires additional money from what you are earning and spending now. So if you whatever your salary is, if all of it goes to pay bills and maybe having a little bit of fun taking care of your family, and you have nothing left over to put into retirement, your retirement is going to be probably pretty bleak. So a lot of people need additional income, and if you do, what that means is that it means you need something that you can gain now, you can gather now. You can't wait 20 or 30 years for an income strategy to work for you. So how do you do that? Well, there are assets that we teach our students that are ideal for generating short-term income. And one of the reasons that a lot of people don't do this, Josh, is that they don't know how to do it. It's that lack of education, lack of understanding of how these things work. So what we do is we kind of pull back that curtain, that fog, and show people how these assets work, which one might be the most beneficial to you. If you're looking for short-term income, for some people, it could even be daily, weekly, monthly, but it's not multiple decades. And the assets that we use and that you can use and the institutions are using, Wall Street's using them, Warren Buffett's using them, are assets like the options market, the futures market, the foreign exchange market. Not only are they short-term in nature, in other words, you get into and out of a position, hopefully with your potential profit in a short period of time. Those assets also have leverage. And this is the great thing, that compounding I'm talking about. The way that you really compound your assets is to use something that gives you a multiple of what you are investing. In other words, if you have an account, say a margin account that has $2,000 in it, these assets can be utilized in a way where you could control as much as maybe $100,000 in an investment.
Yep.
That's maximizing the value of your assets. That's how you have the potential to build wealth. But
Yep.
they're also short-term in nature, so you can use them as a cash-producing asset for you.
Yeah, that's the great thing that, when you teach these investing classes, and I teach these as well, we introduce all the people that are coming to these classes. We've been seeing a lot of people come to these classes lately because I think a lot more people are probably listening to the show and understanding these different opportunities. But there are these opportunities that they need to take. It's not, and you can't just keep putting it on the back burner. So in these classes that we teach here at Online Trading Academy, the futures market, the Forex market, and the options market, we kind of dive into and dissect. What is it? How is it used? Times of day to trade them. For example, the Forex and the futures market, those are 24-hour markets, so they're open around the clock. So people that work during the day, you're kind of stuck to stock market hours if you trade just stocks. Well, that's not the most opportunistic for most people. Options, that's not a 24-hour market, but there's leverage there as well.
Right.
So there's just opportunities that we introduce you to when you come to these investing classes. So get your phones ready. I'm going to give away some tickets here for an investing class. These tickets are it's for a 2-hour class at our local academies. And here's the thing. It's a place to go, a community to learn the skills of trading and investing. So text right now. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 tickets. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for tickets and a quick start kit. In this quick start kit, it includes some free picks as well, some free investment picks. So, Al, you mentioned something that I want to clarify a little bit because we're mentioning a little bit about leverage. And you mentioned that, sometimes the longer you wait, people think they need to take more risk.
Well, that's correct.
Is what people think. Now, the great part about leverage is using less capital.
Right.
And in my opinion, using less capital is actually, in my opinion, less risky because you have less dollars on the line.
Certainly.
And you're more efficient with the capital that you're using. And these assets, as you were talking about earlier, the futures market, Forex market, and options market are available to the public. And they just don't teach this in schools. They don't teach it in high school. They don't teach it in college. And that's the great thing about Online Trading Academy is we have physical classes to learn how to do this. And these are 2-hour classes. So I want you to explain a little bit more what people learn when they come to this investing class about these other assets, but more so the strategies off hours, off business hours, let's say.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the one thing, the primary thing that we want to get across is how the market functions, why price moves, and how you have the opportunity to identify on a price chart where that's going to happen. it doesn't make any difference whether you are trading stocks or options or futures or the foreign exchange market, the Forex market. You still need to know where price is going to turn, where it's going to start moving in a certain direction, where it's going to end up, stop going in that direction. Those are the things that are really key. So that's the number one thing we teach. How do you do that? Well, there are people that have the clout to drive price. The big institutions, the pros, have enough money to not only drive the price of something, they have enough power to manipulate the price to where they want it to be so they can buy at a lower price or sell at a higher price. So if you are not following what they're doing, just listening to maybe what they're saying, you're probably being taken advantage of by some of the activities that they're using. So we want to show you how to not let that happen, why the market functions the way it does, what the most important things are, and then the different assets, the futures, Forex, and options. One of the things we talked about leverage and the fact you can have a smaller account, it allows a lot more people to participate in the markets that might have felt they didn't have enough money to do it before. So with a small account, you're just multiplying the clout, the buying power of each dollar that you have. For people that have a large account, maybe a big retirement account, and maybe you're getting close to or you're in retirement and you're concerned about putting too much of that into the market, well, you can use the leverage to have smaller amounts of money in a portfolio to take advantage of different parts of the market. Futures and Forex basically trade 24 hours a day. So you have opportunities there because when our stock market closes, the entire world does not shut down. There's still a lot of activity going on.
Especially in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That place does not shut down.
24 hours a day. You have no idea what time it is when you're in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
Hey, well, that's sort of like what it is in the financial world. The financial world never closes. There's always something going on. And oftentimes what's happening in Europe or Asia can impact what's going to happen in our market the next day. But with that 24-hour access, you know maybe you work during the day. Maybe you work during the 6.5 hours the stock market's open, and you can't trade during that time period. A lot of bosses would frown on the fact that you're sitting at your desk trading instead of doing what you're supposed to be doing for your job. Well, maybe you trade early in the morning, or maybe you trade in the evening. A lot of people that trade Forex trade late in the evening. Futures, a lot of them are early morning traders. But you can kind of choose the time. And part of what we do for our students is we help you put together a plan. And in that plan, we address for you what might be the best time of the day for you to trade. What's the best strategy, the best asset for you? And these assets that I'm talking about, options, futures, and Forex, not only can be used in an up market, but they can be used in a down market and in a sideways market. So you have the opportunity to participate in every direction the market can go, not just one out of three. If you're only at that what we call the long side, you have a position that you buy and you have to have the market go up, you're missing out on probably half of the opportunities in your lifetime that could help benefit you financially.
Yeah, the great thing about these strategies too with these other assets is you don't have to be glued to your computer to do them. You know, Online Trading Academy has a strategy that's actually designed to kind of take you away from the computer, let the computer execute for you. So you place your investments and you walk away. So say you trade in the morning for a little bit before you go to work, let it work for you during the day, and then come back and check your computer. Wiggle that little mouse and say, hey, what did you do for me today? Or maybe you are trading in the evening and you place your investments. You're protected on both ends. That's what the strategy teaches you to do. Then you wake up in the morning, wiggle that mouse, say, hey, what did you do last night? You know, how did you treat me last night? And that's what's the great thing about the strategies is being able to still have the opportunity to do them even if you have a job. And that's what we're talking a lot about in these investing classes is we have a lot of people that are working, we call it working folk, right? That work during the day and they want to have these income strategies at night. So we have investing classes that we do locally at our academies. We have these classes during the week. We also have them on the weekend. So text right now for 2 tickets. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 tickets. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for an investing class right here at Online Trading Academy. So Al, I want to talk a little bit about how history repeats itself. And I don't want that to repeat to our listeners now. The same things that happened in 2008. So we're going to talk about some of those things. Make sure to follow the podcast. If you missed part of the show on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, this is Josh and Al Investing with Confidence. We will be right back.